Malaysia currently is having sort of like a mini EV invasion right now, with brands like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Volvo and Hyundai introducing their EV vehicles for the local market. But what about Tesla? Isn't Tesla the gold standard for electric vehicles? Is it any good or is it just hype? And we're here to find out with the new Tesla Y. This is a Tesla Model Y, and is essentially their compact SUV that's based on the Model 3. Teslas are not officially available in Malaysia yet, but you can buy them from great importers such as 0 to 60 Garage, who has been kind enough to provide us a car to test drive. Alright. Alright guys, so we are in the Tesla Model Y, and this is the long range version. It comes with dual motors, and we're going for a test drive. And the first thing you notice about this car is that there's hardly any buttons. This whole dashboard looks so clean. There's no instrument cluster up front. There's no even the manual aircon vents. So the aircon's actually coming out from this small little opening down here. And to control the direction of the aircons, right, you need to use the touchscreen display. And everything's controlled from this touchscreen display. It looks like a huge tablet here. Everything's controlled from here. The aircon, the aircon direction, the entertainment system, even to adjust the steering wheel and the side mirrors. And also to open the glove box, you need to use the touchscreen panel as well. So driving around KL City right now, so we just left our office in GMBB, and the first thing you notice is that the suspension is pretty stiff. For me, it's quite okay, but Amin drove it a while ago. He said it's very uncomfortable. And one thing about the Tesla is that there are 3 modes for the pedal. There's creep, there's roll, and there's hold. So right now I'm in the highest setting, there's hold. So basically you can use this car with a single pedal. So when you press accelerator, it goes, and when you lift it out gradually, that's where it actually kicks in the regenerative braking. So you don't need to press the brake pedal at all. You lift it off and the car will try to gradually go to a complete stop. And I'm lifting off my pedal. Yeah, it comes complete stop automatically, just like that. It will take a while to get used to, because you have to gradually lift your foot in like a very linear manner. You can just lift it up like that, like a regular car. Because typically in a petrol car, right, if you lift your foot off the pedal, your car still moves until you press the brake pedal. It slows down, but not at this rate. So the regenerative braking slows down the car a lot quicker. So you can't do the sudden lift off with your right foot. And like any EV, it's totally quiet here. The only thing you hear is the sound of the aircon. This is perfect for city driving, especially when you're stuck in a jam. You use less energy this way. Okay, since we're stuck here, let me just go through some of the stuff here. So you get this Tesla steering wheel, pretty basic. He has this nice leather wrap. It's not real leather, it's like synthetic leather, so it's vegan friendly. And you get these 2 controls over here. So you have the left and right motion, and there's like a jog dial scroll wheel up here. So this side I believe is to adjust the volume, I guess, and this to control the settings. Oh sorry, this is the volume right here. And you also get 2 stalks here. So the gear selector is on the right, so you have the park, reverse, neutral, drive over this side, and the scene indicator and the wipers are on the left. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple. Like I said earlier, there's nothing on the dash. It's totally clean. There's no instrument cluster up front. There's no heads-up display. So the only way for you to see the speed is through the display over here. So it's written on the top left corner up here, 14 km per hour. That's the only way for you to get the speed. At the very least, I think Tesla should have put a heads-up display, because you don't want to keep your eyes off the road. Because to look at this screen is a bit, I think it's a bit cumbersome. Like if only there's a heads-up display up front, so I can see the DJs in front. Another thing that Amin pointed out earlier, right? There's no way to enable the hazard lights when you look at the whole car. I've just looked through the menu, I can't find it as well. So that's something that's quite interesting, because I thought that was like a safety feature. Every car should have a hazard light, and typically on a car, is very obvious. It's like a big red button of sorts in the middle of the car, but I can't find it here. And he has this matte plastics over here. So all these are aircon controls. We get with the one press auto function. You just press once, it goes down. Pull up, it goes up. Okay, the car in front has moved. Let me just accelerate a bit. And I just lift the pedal. That's it. I didn't touch the brakes. That's how awesome it is. It's just single pedal operation. You just tap a bit to get the car moving and lift off to slow down. So this makes stop and go traffic a lot less stressful. Let's just demonstrate again. So the traffic light in front turns red. So I'm pressing the pedal right now. I left out too quickly. So once the car in front stops, I just release it easily. And we come to complete stop, and the auto hold is engaged immediately. So this car, there's no handbrake, it's done automatically. You can see the auto hold icon here to show that the car is like it has a handbrake enabled. Everything is so simplified in this car. It's like they take the clutter off everything, and sometimes I feel it's a bit too simple. Like for example, right now I want to change air conditioning. Typically I'll go and use my left hand to adjust the knobs and controls, but in this car you need to go through the touchscreen panel like this. Okay, tap on this. Oh sorry, it's actually down here. So you can, there's split aircon here, so you can tap on this and you can control the aircon. So you can adjust the fan speed over here, or set it auto based on the temperature, and even the direction of aircon, right? You need to adjust it from here. Look at that. Let's say you don't want to blow your hand, you want to blow to the sides, you can just adjust it this way. It looks pretty cool, but I think it's a bit too troublesome. If only there was like a faster way of doing it, because obviously when you're driving, right, you don't want to be fiddling around with the touchscreen display. It looks cool, but in terms of practicality, not really, I feel. I still prefer my good old control buttons. And if I want to adjust the aircon, right, I will still want to have the manual controls over here. And since this is a Model Y, it's kind of like the SUV version of the Model 3. So the Model 3 is their smaller compact sedan. So this is the SUV version. And it gives you that high commanding view, which most people like when it comes to SUVs. Another thing about the Tesla Y is that you have this old glass moonroof. You can't open it, it's one single piece of glass. It looks great. It's slightly tinted, but during a sunny day like at noon time, this can get really hot. Even if you have a good aircon, but you can really feel the heat from the top here. And there's no way to make the tint darker. So that's one of the issues here in Malaysia, is especially under the hot sun. If only there's a way to do it. But that's why we did a search. I think there are some third-party sellers selling like a cover for this, so that it won't be so hot. And one thing I like about this car is that there's a lot of cameras around. So when you hit the signal light, let's turn to the right, you get a view of the right side of the car. Kind of similar to Honda's Lane Watch, but you get it on both sides, and that's pretty cool. In fact, this car has a total of 8 cameras all around, so this gives you a very good view. And yeah, there's something called the Sentry mode. If there's something that knocks in the car while you're not around, it can actually record the incident. The vegetative braking feels like you're actually braking. When you lift the pedal off a bit, right, you can feel like there's a brakes being applied. That sensation is pretty strong, and you need to have a very good leg control on this. And the thing about Tesla is that it doesn't support Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but you have like their own operating system here, which practically has everything you need. There's even Google Maps built in here as well. But the thing is that this car is actually from the UK, and in Malaysia, if you use this car, you can use it to search for points, but you can't use the navigate function, and that's quite a pity. So if you're going to get this car in Malaysia, you still probably need a phone attached to the dashboard for your navigational needs if you need to use Waze or Google Maps. Yeah, another thing to note is that this car is still brand new, so a lot of features like the level 2 autonomous driving features, you can't use it yet because the car is still in calibration mode. And you can see on the screen here, it keeps saying calibration in progress. So I think you need to complete like 1,000 or 2 kilometers before you can unlock those features. So it's kind of similar to like buying a drone, where you need to accumulate enough hours to unlock the full performance. And the seats are pretty okay. You get electric controls for everything, but I feel that the bottom of the seat is not long enough, so it doesn't have that full thigh support. So doing long journeys, I think it'd be better if this seat is a bit longer, so that is more comfortable for longer drives. In the terms of seat, it's quite similar to my hatchback, so if only they make this a bit longer. I actually like the camera view function when you tap the center light, but the only thing is that because it's located so low, right, it's a bit not so practical. If only this is implemented up here or somewhere higher a bit, so that it's more usable, because you don't want to be staring down on the screen while you're driving. It's a Friday afternoon. It's about 4:30. It's so smooth, it's so quiet. Before you know, you reach like 90 kilometers or 100 kilometers per hour. The car seems to handle pretty well, and the stiff suspension is not much of an issue when you drive at highway speeds. When you put the foot down, you can really feel the pull of the Tesla Y, and before you know it, it's 100 kilometers per hour. I'm not even pushing full. It's just a slight tap and you get the full power.
Woo! Yeah, dude. Oh, let's go!
And it's so addictive because you don't hear the sound of the engine.
Yeah,
I've got 911 behind, I think.
Bila I charge this phone on Tesla, dia naik, but the battery tak respond lah the phone.
I think is it cooler? Oh, because there's aircon here, right? You put your hand here.
Oh yeah lah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So right below the screen, there's like a small little vent for the aircon to flow out. So that keeps your phone cool as you charge wirelessly. Ah, clever. With the regenerative braking, right? Like going downhill, you just press a bit, right? It goes down slowly. Unlike petrol cars, you know, it will go down the slope, it go down faster, right? So you don't need to worry about the brakes. Just one single pedal and it will handle the rest. Oh my god, jam everywhere. I'm really loving the regenerative braking. Like in this stop and go traffic, once the car in front stops, you just lift your foot easily and then you'll auto hold by itself. So let me just lift my foot gently. Okay, we're still moving a bit, so let me just press the pedal a little bit, let go, we just come to complete stop. It's super smooth. This junction is always so confusing, like which exit left, which left, the first left, second left or third left. I haven't been pressing the brake pedal at all. Yeah, I just control using my right foot on the accelerator pedal and just lift it up, and then we just come to complete stop. Press a little bit to creep a bit, release, it stops. Auto hold. So simple. As you can tell, the traffic's back to pre-COVID situation right now. But one thing good about the EV is that it's more fuel efficient, so if you're stuck in traffic, it uses less energy. Unlike buying a petrol car, you'll be burning petrol for nothing. I can see the indicator here. We have slightly more than 50% battery and we have a range of 298 kilometers. Yeah, I can tap on that. Can you tap it? Yeah, 57%, yeah. That's pretty good. And this jam is probably due to the toll plaza up front. Oh my god, this jam is so irritating. When I see a couple of people using the emergency lane to cut through. Ah! Not cool, guys, to use emergency lanes. Another one. Another one. It makes a lot of sound. Beep pop, beep pop pop. There's a warning here, out of data roaming area. I'm not sure whether there's local SIM card in this car.
You can install it.
Yeah, apparently can be installed a local SIM, but looks like there's no SIM card here yet. So for connectivity, we need to use a hotspot. As you can tap over here. Yeah, it's off right now. You can connect to my S21. There's already a setting there. Yeah, it's connected now. Yeah. So while driving, are you able to use a web browser? Yeah, you still can.
And then you can like.
So if you're stuck in traffic, you can use it to browse the internet. Although I would advise you not to, because you should be looking out on the road. Yeah. But if nothing else to do, you can just tap on this and, you know, read content or read soychinchay.com. You can use a web browser, but you can't watch videos. You only can access YouTube, Disney, Netflix and all that when parked.
Unless we park there.
Yeah, unless you park, yeah. For safety reasons, no video. But web browser, okay.
And then if we open YouTube or Netflix on browser,
that might work.
let me try.
Yeah. And I love the on-screen keyboard because not many cars do this properly. Sometimes even like product X70, the keyboard is just too small, and this is more practical because it's huge.
And there you have it.
Cool.
Okay, you can watch.
Oh no, you can't.
Oh.
I think the browser doesn't let you to watch video on. Yeah, can't. You must use the onboard YouTube app. But the YouTube app itself feels like a desktop app, right? It feels like a web browser. So something's weird going on here. Even the Disney Plus app looks like a desktop app. Okay, this jam is getting annoying.
Oh, you can use the left lane.
Yes.
Use the challenge.
I'm seeing opening already. Okay, just gonna use emergency lane a little bit to exit this highway to max. Alright. Here we go. We're going back to max, heading back to KL. Corner is pretty good, right? It's stiff. Actually, I like the stiffer suspension, but Amin doesn't like it. Hopefully we get clear roads ahead. Looks quite clear at the moment.
Oh, let's go!
Whoa!
Whoa!
I think they're not
Whoa! Holy cow! It doesn't feel fast because it's so quiet, and I like the fact that the regenerative braking, right, the rate changes according to your speed. So if you're driving higher speed, you lift the pedal, it doesn't have that sudden, you know, sudden brake. Yeah, so it's quite clever in that sense. It feels quite natural actually. It's quite quiet, but I can hear a bit of road noise, right? Yeah, the tires. And if you see the regenerative braking, it's indicated by this green bar up here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but if you're using energy, you can see there's a white bar towards the right. And when you see this, which means you're putting back more energy into the battery. It's go, right?
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
why everyone waiting.
that's why. Oops. Wow, it's pretty warm in here, man. I mean, okay, let me try to blast aircon. It's 20.5 degrees Celsius, but it's
You
still
blast
quite
the
warm.
aircon, I don't think lebih can.
Yeah. Okay, we're going. It's very warm here. One thing is because the car's not tinted yet, and another one is because of the roof, I believe. Alright. So now we're going Lala Port, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go straight.
And the rear view mirror is quite useless because it's so small. So you have to rely on the rear camera.
Look.
Okay. So we need to get the cable. And in the boot here, we have the Type 2 cable. So it should be straightforward. So one end you connect here. Okay. And the other end Just do it here. Open the cover, double press, and hook it up. Okay, once blinking green, it's charging. When it comes to charging, this UK market Tesla Y uses a CCS2 port which can connect to an AC or DC charger. With an AC charger, you can get from 0 to 80% in over 6 hours of charging, while a 250 kilowatt DC fast charge can push a similar charge in 30 minutes. We tried charging the car at Lalaport Bukit Bintang, which has a 22 kilowatt AC charger, but this car can only support up to 11 kilowatts in AC. From our experience, the charging rate is pretty decent and the onboard display is showing us a rate of 70 km per hour. So with just 1 hour charging, 70 km range is more than enough for most people's daily commute. Another major plus for the Tesla Y is the amount of space. Besides the useful deep cubby holes in the center console, the boot has over 800 liters of space. If you need more, you can fold the rear seats down, which are split in 3 parts. Tesla even has dedicated buttons in the boot, which allows you to quickly tumble down the rear seats, which is extra handy. Unlike most cars, there are no tonneau cover to hide your goods, but instead, Tesla has tinted the rear glass so that it's harder to see what's inside. After a short drive, I do get why there are people who love Teslas. There are plenty of cars that provide a better driving experience, but as an electric vehicle, I think Tesla has nailed it when it comes to the simplicity and the management of the driving and charging experience. They really humanize several aspects of owning an EV, and one of the biggest advantages is the Tesla app for your smartphone. Not only you can control the car functions and features, you can also use it to precondition the Tesla's battery so they can charge it at the most optimal state. To improve the overall lifespan of the battery while charging overnight, you can use the app to set it to stop charging at 80% while reducing the output. What I'm told is that it's best to keep the battery range between 20 to 80%. You can charge it to 100% only if you need it for a long trip. Practicality aside, I do like what Tesla is doing when it comes to entertainment. You get built-in apps to run YouTube, Netflix, Disney+, and Spotify, which is great when you need to kill time while juicing up the car at a charging station. The biggest highlight is its premium audio system that consists of 13 speakers, a subwoofer, and 2 amps. The sound is incredible, and this is truly a cinema on wheels. There are other things as well, such as a built-in web browser, and there are fun stuff like karaoke and games that you can play using the actual steering wheel. Under the toy box section, there are a couple of funny gimmicks like changing the horn to the sound of farts and a fancy light show feature that uses the headlamps. Obviously, you get the full Tesla EV experience if you're driving this in a country with official Tesla presence. When you set a route on a map, it will show you where the nearest superchargers are and even recommends the stops and how much it needs to reach your destination or the next stops. From what I heard, this greatly addresses the range anxiety, but unfortunately, this doesn't work here since Malaysia isn't officially supported. This Tesla Y from 0 to 60 garage is officially priced at 425,000 ringgit for the long range model, and that's before other extras. If you want to upgrade to 0 to 100 acceleration speed to 4.4 seconds, you can buy the acceleration booster add-on from the Tesla app at 1,500 British pounds, which is about 8,200 ringgit. If you want the full self-driving capability, that's going to cost you 6,800 pounds or 37,000 ringgit. But take note that this feature is limited to the local regulation, so you can't really use it here in Malaysia. Meanwhile, the total range performance model with 450 horsepower, 639 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 acceleration of less than 4 seconds, that's going for 475,000 ringgit. The prices are inclusive of the full road tax and road tax exemption. The Tesla Y is a pretty cool car, and I'm pretty sure that most tech enthusiasts will appreciate the features that's baked in. But as a driver myself, I feel that a couple of things are missing. I still prefer manual controls for the aircon vents and also dedicated switches and buttons for specific functions of the car. That's just what I think. What do you think about the Tesla Y? Is this better than the BMW iX? Let us know in the comment section down below. And of course, a huge shout out to 0 to 60 Garage for making this video possible. If you're interested in the Tesla Y or other Teslas, do reach out to them. And if you want to know more information and also the cost of ownership, and if any inquiries about the EV itself, do reach out to them and they'll be more than happy to answer all your queries. This is Alex from soyachincha.com. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!